Well, Portland is known for its cocktail scene, and one beverage expert is being recognized nationally on the Imbibe 75 list.
That's an annual list of the people and places that will shape the drinks we enjoy in the coming year. Joining us now is Lyanna Sanabria, the co-founder and beverage director of Papi, a Puerto Rican bar and kitchen in the heart of the Old Port. Good morning. Thank you so much for being here.
Good morning.
And congratulations.
Thank you so much.
This is so exciting. Can you tell us more about this honor? And is this a list you were aware of previously, and what it means to you to be on it?
Yeah, thank you. It's crazy, one. It's kind of an insane honor. Often there's a lot of lists, and I feel like the things that you have to do to get on them or to prove what that is, I feel like you have to let a lot of what you want to actually do go. And in a place like Maine, where we have so many good bars and restaurants, and like, I mean, you can be something that maybe not that authentic, but to not be very good or genuine is, you know, overlooked. And so to be able to merge those two on a national scene out of Maine is really a crazy accolade. It's one of the few lists that I actually am like, ooh, that's a cool indicator. I often feel like really shy after I get them. After it's like I received it in the mail and I was like, we're gonna put that back on the table and we're gonna go back to work and like keep doing things. But it is one of the lists that I've looked up to. I remember being gifted it 4 years ago. There was a woman named Tiffany on the cover, and it was one of those really like, oh, that's actually somebody that I look up to, and when you aspire to be something like that. And so it is a list that I look up to, and to see my name on it, I'm like, oh, wait, but I have years until I actually get there. Like, how is that possible? And started writing down the things that we've done at Papi over the last like very short but very long period of time, and I was like, well, actually, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, amazing.
It's like winning an Oscar, you know, right?
Kind of.
I mean, does that really put you guys on the map when it comes to cocktails?
Yeah, it really does. It kind of, you know, in terms of our community and like local, we've been busy. You know, it's like you say, it's like you come in, we're busy. But being able to explain that to the outside, you go and visit New York, you go and visit a bigger place, and it's like, yo, you're coming in from Maine, like, okay. And then this is one of those like, yeah, we're coming in from Maine, okay.
Yep.
It kind of just does the checkbox for you, so you don't have to do as much work. It makes it easier to network. We have a lot of awesome bartenders and industry staff that will go on to do other things, and it also helps their resumes. And so it is one of those things that in terms of like representation and recognition, like for us to be on there, it's like this little Puerto Rican bar in Maine of all places. So yeah, it's really, really cool.
Let's
and
talk
it does
about
trying to explain,
Yes.
like, you know, saying to so like to my Papi, for example, like, hey, you know, I got this list. Oh, I'll have to look that up. You know, what is that? And it's like, how do I explain without like too much ego that it's like, Papi, I feel like I'm on Vogue. Like, this is like, it's so cool.
It's incredible. And for those who haven't been to Papi or aren't familiar with Papi, let's talk about what makes it such a great experience when it comes to the drinks and the food. It really is an experience.
Yeah, it's definitely a full immersion between the Miranda Restaurant Group and their big, like, eccentric, really maximalist visions of places and experience in New York City, mixed with our chef is like, you can cook and then you can cook, and boy can cook. It's one of those where Puerto Rican food's good anyway, but supplying that to Maine and that translation, my mom's French Canadian from Lewiston. Please don't tell her I can get up this early, but hi, Mom. I was thinking that I was like, they're all gonna know. And then the other side, my father's Puerto Rican, and so translating that to the community is something that comes really naturally. So being able to like put up all of the different things that represent us, whether it be actual island, well, our back wall looks much more like New York, and all of those different little pieces that make up our diaspora, if you will, but also how to translate them, because I also, like, my Pepe in Lewiston was my human. And so understanding what he thinks of arroz con pollo makes it much easier to sell to somebody when I'm like, well, I already know what would bother them about this, or what they would really like, whether or not they know that. Because it's always been the two sides. And so I think really focusing on national level hospitality and beverage production, and then going into that playful side of Boricua hospitality, where often in Maine it'll be, and Boricua being like a Puerto Rican, oh, you're good at your job. And I'd be like, oh, it's just like the Puerto Rican side. It's like my grumpy, meticulous French Canadian side is like very good at organizing the actual process of what it takes to run a bar. And then the flamboyant, I call her my method actor, that comes out when I'm behind the bar, and ability to take care of a lot of people at once. That's just something that was like normal at home. And then it makes an experience special for people. It's been really nice to hear. And also when people are happy, they leave it in the walls. And so it's like been a self-sustaining cycle.
I love that.
What do you think some key ingredients that make a drink stand out, just delicious, and do you keep creating new ones when you're there?
Yeah, we created a lot of new ones, and then I kind of rolled back on creating new ones because I realized that a lot of the drinks that we were putting on the menu were really new to people. Like incorporating something like one of the most popular drinks is going to be a guava sour on the bottom with basically a cheese foam on the top. People will read it and it's like, why would you do that? But that's an iconic pairing in Puerto Rico, on top of, if you think of like cheesecake with a berry, and realizing that introducing those little tiny others as our iconic menu, we're starting there. We will be rolling out probably an entirely new menu around February. We're rolling things back from the end of season. But incorporating a lot of the Puerto Rican flavors and being able to highlight them as a cocktail. Like we had a sofrito dirty martini when we first started, and so it'd be like iconic food base, like how mirepoix is to French food, that is to Puerto Rican food, but then incorporating it into drinks, you can tell the story as you're doing it. And so it's fun, it's playful, but it's also delicious. You can have opinions on if drinks are good, and what you like personally, and then there's like putting it out to a mass community where it's getting a lot of people to like it. And so in that regard, there are kind of rules to drinks because not everybody likes everything. And if I'm trying to tell a story from a Puerto Rican side in Maine, then I don't want people to have to be as adventurous as they think they're being. And so where it rests on your mid palate, balancing our acids and like a lot of cool fruits that are out of Puerto Rico, they really go perfectly in a lot of the Maine weather, whether it be our very short summer and jumping into that, or escapism, like a pina colada in the winter is pretty magical.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, telling the story through the flavors in the cocktails has been really awesome.
Pretty amazing finding that balance for sure.
So for people that don't know, your website that can get the address, you guys are right there on Exchange Street. So
yeah, we're on 18 Exchange on the lower end. We still don't have a sign up. For a couple of years, we've been dealing with historical preservation, wanting to make sure that the old port still looks like the old port. We've had our whole conflict with our door, of course, a whole other conversation, but a sign will be up soon. But for now, it's the very flamboyantly pink building at 18 Exchange. We're papiportland.com. I'm Lyanna Sanabria on Instagram. But yeah.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you
We're
guys
so
much.
excited for you, and you got to celebrate with a little drink, right?
That's right, absolutely. Is there going to be a plaque on the wall too?
There should be.
There should, actually. I did order quite a few copies. I was laughing, trying to.
As you should.
It's like, how do I show that off? But yeah, maybe we will frame it.
There you go.
You should be very proud.
Well,
Congrats
congratulations.
again.
Thank you so much.
All right.